Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever wanted to be someone else? Maybe just for one day? Well, today we're diving into a super fun, classic story about a donkey, a very silly donkey, who got a really wild idea to do just that.
Okay, but first, a question for you. Have you ever played dress-up? You know, put on a cool costume to be a superhero or a princess, or maybe even a big roaring lion? It's so much fun to pretend, isn't it? Well, guess what? The donkey in our story loves pretending too.
So, let's set the scene. Once upon a time, deep in a big forest, there lived a donkey. And, to be honest, he was getting kind of bored of being, well, just a regular old donkey. Then, one day, this really mischievous, kind of tricky idea just popped right into his head. He wanted to play a big prank on all the other animals.
And his plan? Oh, it was super simple. Or so he thought. Step 1, he was going to find a lion skin that a hunter probably left behind. Step 2, he'd just put it on. And for the grand finale, Step 3, he would just walk around and scare everybody. He was sure it would work. What could possibly go wrong?
And you know what? He actually did it. He found an old lion skin, threw it over his back, and started stomping all through the forest like he owned the place. The other poor animals had no idea what was about to happen. And guess what? It was working. Seriously. Animals, big and small, saw this totally scary lion and just ran away as fast as they could. And the donkey? He thought this was the funniest thing in the world. For the very first time, he felt super powerful and important, pretending to be the king of the forest. But then, along comes a jackal, just strolling through the woods. Now, this wasn't just any jackal, oh no. This was a very clever jackal who had seen a lot of things, and he wasn't scared so easily. So the donkey sees this jackal coming his way and thinks, all right, here's my chance for my biggest scare yet. He puffed out his chest, all ready to let out a huge, mighty roar. What do you think? Is this trick going to work on the clever jackal? But, here's the thing. The jackal had a little secret of his own. You see, just a little while before, the jackal had been nearby, and he heard a very, very familiar sound. A sound that, let's just say, was definitely not a lion's roar. And this is the moment, you guys, where the donkey's big, silly plan starts to totally fall apart. Because, that secret is about to come out. So instead of screaming and running away, the jackal just kind of smiled and said, I would have been afraid of you if I had not heard you calling like a donkey a little while ago. Can you believe it? The jackal had heard the donkey's real voice. You see, the jackal put the puzzle together. So think about it. What did the jackal see with his eyes? A big, scary lion. But what did he hear with his ears? A donkey's hee-haw. The costume looked right, but the sound was all wrong. Yep, that's the key right there. A donkey can't roar like a lion. He can only bray, hee-haw, like a donkey. And the second the jackal heard that hee-haw, he knew it was just a silly costume. The game was up, the trick was over, busted. Okay, so this is a really funny story about a donkey, right? But it's also more than that. Like a lot of these cool old stories, it has a special lesson for all of us. It has what we call a moral. So, what's a moral? Well, you can think of it like the hidden treasure in a story. It's that special lesson, that really good piece of advice that you get to keep with you long after the story's over. Now, the original moral from this story goes a little something like this. A fool can pretend to be wise until he opens his mouth. What does that even mean? It just means you can look like one thing on the outside, but the moment you talk or act, your true self comes out, just like our donkey friend. But you know, we can boil all that down to something even simpler and, I think, a lot nicer. What this story is really trying to tell us is something super important. It's always, always, always best to just be yourself. Your own voice and all the special things that make you you are way better than any costume you could ever put on. So I want to leave you with this idea. You don't need a lion skin or a superhero cape or anything else, because you are already so amazing just the way you are. So have a think about it. What's the absolute best thing about being you? Thanks for joining me for this story, and we'll see you next time.